Welcome to the Prescott Home Value Report through September 2025. Brought to you by the Prescott Pickle Lady, Diane Bro Realtor. In case you haven't figured it out, I am not the Pickle Lady. That is me in the bottom right-hand corner. My name is Randall, and Diane has given me the authority to show you the following slides, always starting with the Prescott median sales price per square foot. So, if you look at the chart, the blue line is last year, the red line is this year. Each dot represents the median sales price per square foot in that month. These lines are close, and they're still close. Last month, I think we had a 4% rise. Now we've got negative 1% appreciation year over year. I would still characterize these lines as essentially flat. You do get some seasonal ups and downs. You can see it, last year after about October, we kind of hang out down here for a little while. And then the spring, we kind of hang above the line. But this is essentially flat. Things have been pretty flat since COVID. This is no exception. What isn't flat is the transaction volume. So again, blue is last year. Red is this year. You always see seasonal effects. That's what happened in January. No one's writing contracts in December, so January typically has fewer closings. Ever since July, we have been just kicking last year's transaction volume numbers, and I was kind of thinking we might come back into line because these numbers were kind of neck and neck for a long time since COVID. But I think we have broken the barrier. And again, in September, we had a big move. So we're going from about 100 transactions last year to about 150. That's a 50% increase, something like that. Yeah, 50%, which is huge. And it's been that way for 3 months now. So lots of volume, always a good thing to have a thriving real estate market. You have to have volume, and so that's a good thing. Well, is it a buyer's market, seller's market? What is it? The way that we answer that question is with our pending ratio analysis. And the way that works is when we ran these numbers, there were 749 homes on the market. This is in Prescott. Of those, 125 were pending. Well, 125 is 17% of 749. So our pending ratio is 17%. Looking that up in our handy dandy color chart will tell you that is a strong buyer's market, kind of getting close to just a regular buyer's market. 17 is kind of, at least on the high end of that range. We have seen that there for quite some time. It has been a buyer's market for quite some time now. Usually it's been strong, and sometimes it makes it up a little bit closer to being balanced. Of course, that changes when you look at price points. Here's what happens when you look at the same information from a price point perspective. Okay, so each one of these is a price range. The blue bars down here, that's the number of homes that were sold in that price range. As you can see, we've got a significant number of homes that are being sold above 1,200, that's 1.2 million. We've become kind of a high-end sort of place. We used to start this at 100,000. Now I'm starting it at 300,000. The red dots, those are the pending ratio for homes in that market. Typically, you see this sort of shift down to the right, kind of from here to here. Typically, the higher a home is priced, the more of a seller's market it's going to be. And you kind of see that pattern here. 300s, I don't know what to tell you about the 300s. Usually, the lower the price, that should be up here somewhere. Don't know what's going on there, but that is still a strong buyer's market, 300s and below. And might have a lot of properties in that price range that just aren't moving. Once you get past $1 million, suddenly we go from an extreme to just strong. That's not a huge switch. I don't know. kind of hard to see what's going on. But this pattern's been going on for a while now. I've been noticing month and month the higher end in Prescott kind of marches to its own drummer. So how long does it take for homes to sell in Prescott? That would be 4.3 months from the time that you have a contract, you put the home on the market until you have a contract, 4.3 months. Escrows are typically a month, so 5.2 overall from soup to nuts. Moving now to the city of Prescott Valley. Same song and dance. How's that for a flat curve? That is flat. Negative 1%. We had a little bit of an appreciation. I think we had positive 2 or 3, I think, last month. This month, that's negative 1%. I wouldn't make too much of that. That looks like a smooth, flat line to me. Same thing on the transactions out in Prescott Valley. These two lines kind of stick close together. June, July, we were down a little bit. The same time when we started seeing transaction volume really spiking in Prescott over last year, we kind of went under the curve. But again, those are pretty flat lines as far as I'm concerned. Our pending ratio in Prescott Valley is 14%. We have 379 homes in inventory. 14% translates to a strong buyer's market, just a few points lower than Prescott. Looking at that by price point, there you see that line. Zhoosh, there you go. For some reason, there's a bump at 8. I've been seeing that for a number of months. Maybe there's just fewer homes in that price point. My guess is this is kind of one market from the 300s down to the 700s. That looks like nothing sold. That looks like 0% pending. So none of them were on the market. But you see that characteristic slide down to the right, and then it starts over again. I wouldn't, these out here, these volumes are so small, we really wouldn't worry too much about them. But you got this bump, and the 800's been seeing that for a while. Just a weird thing about this market. How long does it take for homes to sell in Prescott Valley? 4.6 months. Again, with about a month, a little bit less than in Prescott. These numbers kind of bounce around. This might be, we just happen to have a number of homes that were cash and they went quick. But 4.6 months to contract, 5.4 months overall. And here's our highlight chart. Median price per square is $320 in Prescott, $294 in Prescott Valley. That is a 6% change since last month. We went down 6%, but because things kind of tend to go down at this time of year, the year over year was only negative 1%. And then in Prescott Valley, negative 1 for the month change and the year change. Volumes, we had 145 I said 150 is really 145. That is a 12% increase from last month, so up significantly from last month, and then 46% over last year. So yeah, the dam's kind of broken. The water's coming through now. Over in Prescott Valley, we had 70 transactions. That is a negative 18% from last month, but still 11% over last year. Inventory 749. That's down 6%, so we've cleaned up some inventory. 379 in Prescott Valley, that's down 1%. If you add those two numbers together, that's about 1,100. 1,200 is sort of my benchmark. Before COVID, I always thought 1,200 was the number we typically had in inventory between Prescott and Prescott Valley. We're at 1,100, so we're kind of back to normal. I think the effects of COVID, at least in the real estate market. No long COVID for the real estate market. Months to contract, 4.3 in Prescott. That's down the better part of a month. And 4.6 in Prescott Valley. That's up 0.7. Look, if you like this kind of stuff, we got lots more for you in the Prescott Home Value Report. This is just a summary. We go into specific subdivisions and
just a whole bunch of stuff. So lots of slicing and dicing. So I would encourage you to download that report and get it in full. We update this report every month, but it is not the only report we do. We also have what we call the Appraiser's Eye View, which is the last 6 months of the latest comps. And it's broken out by subdivision. In fact, Prescott Lakes, we break it out by neighborhood. So it's very, very detailed. This is an example of what you'll see in the chart. This would be a subdivision. It is sorted by price per square foot, the number of months that it took the home to sell, square footage, the year it was built, how many stories, how many acres, and whether the listing agent is reporting the home having a view or not. Using this, you can look at all the different comps that occurred. You can see the average down here. So using this, it's a really good tool to figure out what you should be paying for a home, or where you might want to price a home that you are selling. So a really cool tool. We even have a video which goes through how to use this information to come up with value estimates for homes.
We do a whole lot of tools like this, all of them really very cool for both buyers and sellers. And one thing I should point out is you can't get these from any place else. These are exclusive. You can only get them from the Prescott Pickle Lady.
And all of this is part of our page. We call it Prescott by the Numbers, or more commonly the Pickle page. So if you're on the Pickle page, you know the Pickle page. But if you're not the Pickle page, well, you should get to the Pickle page. And you do that by subscribing. We update it every month. If you subscribe, we will send you a monthly email update with the link, so you can go download all the reports that you want. Even if you're not all that interested in getting every single month, just having access to these tools will give you a real leg up when it comes to the real estate game. I hope you found this informative and maybe slightly entertaining, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
Please take a moment to look below and find the button that'll take you to the Pickle page. We'll see you there.